What they want to do by this outsourcing is to transfer us into a private employee who will remove all future pension benefits, bar a legal minimum of about 6%. So the people that have been saving up for their retirement for 10, 20, 30 years will have that cut off. Their future income in retirement will be massively reduced because the university management don't care about the staff. They don't care about that. They care about the bottom line. Now they claim that they care about efficiency and doing things well and all the rest of it. So they've been talking to Unison for protracted negotiations for what, the last 2 years almost, I should think, more than 2 years. And they finally get together some new shift systems and some other things which have involved some difficult choices and difficult negotiations between management and university. And now they want to abandon it and just outsource the whole lot. They spent 12 million on catering, with allegedly because they wanted to keep it in-house and more right to the university's needs, etc., etc. As soon as they finished that, they put out tenders. So they're spending money to make it pretty for somebody else to make a profit. Now they claim that this is a partnership or something like that, which is an interesting concept, because in partnership the university is completely ignoring the unions and staff who are here to help them do things. They pull the rug from under you, they're disingenuous, and well, I could say more things, but I won't. But you can imagine what I might. So what we're here to do today is to say we know how things work at the university, we want to make them better, and we want to keep everybody in the community working towards that, and we don't want to be sold off to the cheapest bidder, which is what they want to do. And one... People in the residences will know the resident staff. People in catering, when you go to the university refectory, not the refectory, what's it called now, Bramber House or Eat In or something like that. When you go there, you'll have staff seeing you, but you might not know them or thought much about them. But they're all working for a common goal. When the lights get fixed, when other stuff is done in bad weather, it's the maintenance staff who will be doing that. When the power goes out in your residences, that's them who fix it and who come out on call out at weekends 24 hours a day to sort stuff. They're the people who are being affected, and what we'll be doing is showcasing these people so you know who they are and you can support them across the campus, whatever union you be in, whether you be students or staff, because the people the university wants to get rid of, the university management, are all of us, and we should all defend them. Thank you.
Rob French from UCU. I represent the UCU you will know as the academic staff union. We also look after the administrative staff. We look after the staff in the health and safety office, for example. These are the staff in our representative group. The point I want to make really hinges on the philosophy behind the proposals that the university's come up with. We've heard stories, we hear stories, we continue to hear stories over the last 10 years of organisations that have put their sort of associated activities out for competitive prices and outsourced them. Those same organisations up and down the country, we've heard stories about them taking them back in-house again so that they can regain control, of the cost of these services. The reason for it is basically it's not given us cost, it's not given us cost overrun, it's given us controlling the quality of the services provided. Those are exactly the arguments that this university is using to outsource in the first place. and it doesn't square up. We've asked for the information hasn't yet been forthcoming. We hope that in a constructive consultation process to follow, that will come forward, and I can only imagine that the university will adjust its proposals, because we're going out for these services for people who are in the business of making money out of organisations like the university. I ask you to support every one of the 235 staff involved.
Okay, speaking on behalf of all of the unions who are here today with staff in the areas that are under threat, we've got three very simple realisable demands which we're going to give to management, and we want a response by Thursday this week when we're going to have another broad public meeting. So these are very simple things which any decent employer would do for its staff, especially when it's been threatened as it has. So the first one is full consultation. Not being informed at 1 hour's notice to come to a meeting. We want proper full consultation and access to all of the information we need without stalling, without procrastination, willingly and helpfully. Full consultation. The second thing we want is a willingness to consider in-house provision. They've presented this as a decision to outsource services. Now, they've not even worked up their specifications yet. They don't know what they're doing, and they're asking the private sector to tell them via a process called competitive dialogue. It's not the way it's supposed to be. Well, I'll come on to that. But quite simply, we want in-house services, and we want management to open a dialogue with the unions for the provision, the continuing provision of in-house services. So the second demand is a willingness to consider in-house provision. In the public sector, there's something called the fair deal. Now, all words are a bit strange, but it's actually pretty fair compared to what management here are proposing. What it says in the public sector is if you're transferred to a private sector organisation which is doing a contract, your future pension benefits have to be of the same value as what you currently enjoy in your current work. In other words, if you're on a final salary pension scheme, you need to move into a final salary pension scheme of the same value. What management are proposing to do here is the absolute legal minimum with no protection of pensions other than what 2P provides, which is just 6%, as I said, and that's a money purchase rather than a defined benefit thing. Now, a lot of you guys are fairly young and probably haven't thought much about pensions, but when you get a bit older, you realise you've got a lot longer to live when you won't be working, and you need some money to do that. Part of the conditions of service at the university were, and still are, to compare to many private sector organisations, good pension schemes. We want those to be honoured in any outsourcing were it to happen. So the third demand is protection of pensions by the fair deal in the public sector, so that staff aren't screwed for other people's profit. Of a university that has the interests of its staff and a willing dialogue with its union should entertain, and we look forward to telling you their response on Thursday lunchtime in Library Square.